afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome all of you back to another Rage video where today, ladies and gentlemen, National Anthem reaction time once again. A bit of a shorter one this time, and that's only because the National Anthem for Thailand, simply just known as the National Anthem, is only roughly about a minute long, and it's something I was almost like in two minds about specifically what I want to say about it. And usually when I do these sorts of videos, I try and go into it with about as much as a very generalized sort of understanding of each nation as possible. And the only real difference is that if there's any other nations that I do have legitimate context for, then I will actually talk a little bit more detail about them. But I will say, actually, one thing about Thailand in particular, just north of Shetland, is that it's also sandwiched between, as you can see on the map here, between Myanmar, or what used to be known as Burma, Laos, and Cambodia. And I must say, actually, while we're on the subject, and there's usually something that's actually quite, there's something of running themes that run throughout quite a lot of things when I talk about national anthems, and one of those examples just so happens to be food, ironically, alongside music. And for those who have ever heard of Napoleon's famous maxim that an army marches on its stomach, that one of the most interesting ways to understand maybe about different cultures and ways of life through the most basic of means is just through the very food that we eat. And curiously enough, there is a very small Thai cafe that's only about a 10-minute walk from where I live, and it's called Lemongrass, and they do, like, it's only been open for 2 years, and I've never had Thai food before this, and it is quite frankly one of the absolute best places to go if you are after an alternative sort of dining experience. And one of the and I will have to pay lip service to what I always get, which is a king prawn and chicken pad thai. And the interesting thing about this dish is that after World War II, I believe Thailand went through something of a disastrous famine, and how basically a state of emergency was called, and to make about as simple and as an affordable a meal as possible for the populace, they basically came up with a chicken and prawn pad thai, which is basically noodles in fish sauce with king prawns, with prawns. It could be king prawns or normal sized prawns, chicken, bean sprouts, I don't think they're pistachio nuts, or it's some type of nuts, and a little bit of like chili powder just rubbed all over the top, accompanied with a slice of lime. And trust me, all together, and I'm pretty sure, well, maybe in its day, maybe it was just noodles, prawns, and chicken with the sauce. It is, quite frankly, it is the most. It is. I don't know why it is, but I think it's one of the best sort of delicacies I've possibly ever had from any nation on earth. So, and I've had several different types of soups and several other dishes from this place, but honestly, as basic as it may sound, a chicken and prawn pad thai is, you can't go wrong with it. And it might even be one of the few, like, it's very strange because if I ever get the opportunity to travel all the way to Thailand and sit in the center of Bangkok and literally just have every single delicacy under the sun, you better believe I will, because Thai food is, I don't know exactly what the right way to describe it is. I don't know if it's just, I don't know if it's just because it's simple, or it's presented in style, or they use the most outrageously varied spices, perhaps going even so far as going to maybe the Shan state in Myanmar just to get them. Because again, one of the interesting things you'll have to know maybe a little bit more about the geography of this part of Asia is that when you enter the Shan state or the Shan plateau, is that you're traveling from the southern to the northern hemisphere. So, and I mention this because Thailand is I think it's more or less all within the in the southern hemisphere. But if you go from Mandalay all the way to the Shan state in Burma, you emerge in from a country that's mostly requesting things like dusty palms, sandy towns, sandy roads, the fresh smells of freshly caught fish, garlic, coconut oil, sandalwood, and emerging into the northern hemisphere, the air becomes somewhat cooler, and you see people with pink cheeks selling enormous baskets of strawberries, and how it's almost like stepping back into England, or possibly even like Europe as far north as Poland or Germany, which is always something that's always kind of like, because even just the pictures of looking at Thailand from where I see them right now is that you almost get the impression that it's almost still in the northern hemisphere. I mean, look at this, just scenery, the Grand Palace, the just any what looks like the biggest pagoda certainly I've ever seen to this date, palaces, temples, coastline, beautiful coastlines, beaches. Because it does also help, because I don't know how well you can see this, but Thailand, it has this entire gulf which stretches all the way here, and it's almost between, again, from Cambodia, Malaysia, and Vietnam. But I've got nothing other than I say that it looks as beautiful, it tastes as beautiful as it looks. That's certainly what goes through my mind when thinking about Thailand just at this very moment. And even just saying all of this is starting to make me feel very, very hungry. So I'll have to see about that. I might even possibly do an entire thing on Raging Reality International where I just sample like a variety of Thai dishes. That might actually be really, really cool. And it's something I want to emphasize again, because the music aside, the foods that we eat from all over the world is just, it deserves its own spot as well, just as much as anything else. Now, moving on to the national anthem itself, which again is just called the Thai National Anthem, was adopted from its current form on the 10th of December 1939 and replaced San Soan Phra Bahami in 1932, which remains as the royal anthem of Thailand. And the only thing I just want to say as well is that it was also written, the words were made by, well, it was composed by Farah Shanduayan, and the words were made by Loang Saranhampurhan. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing these things right. And with all that being said and done, if you guys want to check out the original video for yourselves, links will all be in the description down below. So let's begin. And please rise for the national anthem of Thailand. That's actually a very different sounding national anthem. Certainly it's very different to anything I've heard before, because it's one of those, it's actually probably the only real national anthem I've certainly covered on this channel that is so to the point. It's almost like it was designed specifically for the purposes of being used to recite, which might also not be out of the ordinary, because apparently, if this is true, then it's that at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. it's required that the people of Thailand stand and recite this. Well, okay, I'll read it. Both are when Thai national anthem is played in train station, markets, and civil buildings throughout the country. Thai people will all stop what they are doing and stand silently in respect, but will continue from their busy lives on the beat of the last drum. So that's kind of that's quite interesting, actually. That it's, but I will say this: the Thai people are peace loving, but they are not cowards at war. That's okay. Well, the interesting thing is that a lot of national anthems I've covered so far reflect the idea that, yes, they will stand to defend, absolutely, but it also says, that's also very, very interesting how the Phleng Chat Thai also goes to the extent of saying, we will not be provoked under any circumstances whatsoever because we absolutely will fight anyway. I'm not saying, fight, out of indiscriminately, but that's actually that's just a very interesting inclusion. But then again, nor shall they suffer under tyranny. Well, I don't know again if it's just me talking or whether or not there's something almost a little bit of an oxymoron about it, as though nor shall they suffer under tyranny, but but many people who work for civil jobs are required to recite this at least twice a day. That's kind of, I don't know, am I crazy, or is that just, there's something a bit, that's interesting. That's interesting. I'll certainly say that, it's very interesting. Now, with all that being said and done, I like it. It's simple, it's straightforward, and it's meant to be, you're supposed to almost wear it like a coat of arms as well, as though you got to remember exactly where you come from and what Thailand means to you. Almost not really like, it's like, ask not what your country could do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Which again, it's a different take, and there's nothing wrong with different. And certainly, again, when it comes to when I'm going to do the translation video, there's going to be a lot of things I'll be able to put into this again. And hopefully, all things go well in the future, maybe able to do a few delicacies from Thailand as well, which means frequenting many trips to lemongrass as well. If you ever happen to travel through Pontyland, make sure to find lemongrass, because it's absolute dynamite. So anyway, I hope all of you guys have enjoyed this reaction video to Thailand's national anthem. Please make sure to leave all your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys thought of Phleng Chat Thai for yourselves, and I cannot wait to talk to you guys again in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye for now.
Champ, glad you could make it to the end of the video. I'm super glad you cared this much. If you could do me a great favor and like this video and subscribe to my guy right here. He didn't want to say it himself because he knows I say it way better. Till next time. Mwah.